I really was a beast. Aisha hails self for contributing to Peter Obi's successful campaign in 2023. A social critic and staunch supporter of Peter Obi of the Labour Party, Aisha Yusufu has applauded herself for the efforts she and other supporters of the presidential candidate put in prior to the February elections. Mrs. Yusufu, who has been a heavy critic of President Muhammadu Buhari, his administration, in a post on Twitter, described herself as a beast who contributed something great. She further noted that what they, the obedience, did in 2 weeks is usually done in a decade. She said, I was really a beast in the 2023 election. I contributed to something great, the awakening. They said it couldn't be done. We said, watch us. In 10 months, we did what would normally take 2 decades or more, she tweeted. Recall Mrs. Yusufu had earlier claimed that the supporters of the PDP would be in the wilderness, following what she described as their sense of entitlement. She alleged that the PDP supporters will always be controlled by stomach infrastructure and will do things based on what is in it for them. Very interesting. I mean, to be honest, she kind of deserves to, some might call it very, like she's being boastful or, being very proud. But I think you cannot deny that she was actually a force. I think with a lot of movements, to be honest, she's always been a force. I don't think, because of course some people in the comment section will hate us, to be honest. I would want to doubt this or want to downplay it. Well, especially, supporters of those that are not of the APC would come, especially to her, and, say you're chatting this and chatting, you're just saying things that don't make sense. But I think that she's done amazing, from the Bring Back Our Girls movement to the EndSARS protest to the elections. She's been so vocal. She basically is electric. I think there's a power in how she brings people together, how she inspires, she triggers, she incites, and the perfect word she used is basically the awakening. Very much questioning and making Nigerians think and see, okay, fine, what do we want for our country? And I think, if you're going to say that she wasn't, then you are probably a hater, and you don't like anything good for your country. Let's look at the comment section. This is why you failed. You could have not defeated a candidate who have used decades of work for such serious project. The quality of your preparation determines how far you go in the journey of success. Now listen, it's not about, I think when it comes to preparation for the elections and how the people garnered themselves, I don't think there's anything wrong with Aisha Yusufu's approach. You have to understand, right? Before Labour Party or before the movement that really shook up Nigerians, you have to understand that the people or the parties, the big dogs that have been there, when it comes to their structures, and of course, years of manipulation, rigging, and to be honest, owning. You can call it corruption. People say corruption and, whatever you want to say. But literally owning key stakeholders that would determine the outcome. Like INEC. Can we talk about that, please? So INEC being owned, political parties and stakeholders, especially in the north, being owned. And you also have people jumping from parties to parties, right? Numbers also come into that game as well. The kind of people we are plays a huge role. So I think saying in preparation, don't get me wrong, the fact that these big dogs had their structures, which was the main argument, they're more known for years, and it's not their fault. They have basically conditioned, Nigerians and the people that they manipulate and, still vote from, not to be forward-thinking and regressive, so they can go to these same people every single year. It's like retaining customers in a business. You go to them every single year knowing that they'll vote for you because you keep them in a state where they don't feel the need to ask for more and they accept what you give to them. Purely transactional when it comes to that time. So with the power with Aisha Yusufu, more than just trying to win an election or for the Labour Party, it really was an awakening, right? It really was an insight to, okay, we know that they use numbers in the north to intimidate and say, oh, they're going to win anyways. But understanding the amount of youth in the country, people going to register for their PVCs. I mean, excuse me, these elections, right, is actually the most active and engaged, because the past elections, who was voting? Who went out to actually vote? These people were declaring results and declaring winners when they did not have, even underage voters were voting. They were seen as credible votes. So what is your argument? I really don't see it. So you can't really say preparation when you know that Nigeria in itself and the political game itself is already so compromised, that really this movement was about the people realizing their power and just unlocking that level of thinking, which, as she said, she described it as the awakening. And really, that was what was needed. Obviously, with how things have turned out, Tinubu has now won. But you can't say that because Tinubu won, you can take away from the movement which she started and dominated and literally spread like wildfire. So yeah. Onto the emergence of Obidati movement, I've concluded that politicians are a bunch of self-centered lots. Well, a lot of people do recognize her, and I think for her, more than just the election, I think, yes, what she did in the election was actually quite powerful. So did a lot of other people, but for Aisha Yesufu specifically, and her contribution to movements awakening, and for the people to realize their power and have that confidence, it started from the Bring Back Our Girls movement, which she was part, and she that movement became a worldwide movement. You had the presidents of different countries, including the USA, involved. Michelle Obama, Bring Back Our Girls. It was a movement, of course it was. And then of course the NSAS protest, like, what? If you don't know who Aisha is, so there's significant movements that she has been a part of, that she has also co-led, and you can even say led at this point, that makes her stand out, and you can't fight it, except you are literally a hater and you want to beef, but you can't. Put what you think about her in the comment section below and what she said, and don't forget to like and subscribe.